Okay guys, hi. I am doing a very short demonstration on two different kinds of cheese sandwiches, if you would say. I have my mask on because my fourth period class is coming in soon. So I'm using a skillet. You could use a stove top. I'm using this simply because it's easier for you to see in my mirror. The first one I want to show you is a classic American grilled cheese sandwich. So let me just get my supplies. Okay, so now I'm here to demonstrate a classic American grilled cheese sandwich. You can use butter to grease your sandwich with, or mayonnaise. And mayonnaise is it's an oil. It's oil and vinegar and eggs and stuff. It's a permanent emulsion, and a lot of people use it to do their grilled cheese sandwich. I want to do more traditional with butter. So what you want to do is you want to put about a tablespoon of butter in your skillet to get nice and hot and melt. A tablespoon of butter in my skillet. Now you could butter the bread, but I usually use a softer white bread for my grilled cheese sandwiches, so it sometimes tears. The skillet should be pretty hot by now. So I have my butter, I'm gonna put it aside. I'm going to take my bread and I am going to simply, and I use it for grilled cheese sandwich. You could use any bread you want. I tend to use this basic, what I call the basic white bread stuff. So I can make 4 sandwiches here. So I got 1, 2, 3. That's enough for 1, 2, 3, and I need 2 more for 4 sandwiches. Take my spatula, spread the butter around so it's evenly coating my skillet. And I am going to put my 4 slices of nice, soft, yummy, basic white bread. Single cheese. I have sharp cheddar. This is processed cheese. Some people like the American cheddar, American cheese. These are individually wrapped. So I'm going to pull them open. Now, so I put a slice of cheese here. And while that's my cheese, this processed cheese melts very easily. And that's why it's often used in grilled cheese sandwiches, because it melts super, super fast. I've made grilled cheese with other cheeses and they are very, very good. But the American cheese that you get wrapped like this does melt easier. So when I'm doing a bunch of sandwiches like this, I am going to take another piece of cheese and kind of divide it up amongst the sandwiches so that every bite is delicious and cheesy. So I probably would put a piece right here, piece right here, and of course a piece right here. Super simple. And then I'm going to top it with my other bread. With my paper and put it over here for my trash. Now I'm going to get my butter back again, and I'm going to put a very thin slice of butter on the top of each of my slices of grilled cheese. Just a very small, thin topper of butter. So you got lots of butter, lots of cheese, and you're going to cook this at a nice warm temperature until the bread toasts and, oops, I lost my butter. The bread toasts and the butter, the cheese starts to melt. And that is how you make a basic grilled cheese sandwich. Turn it over. When I turn it over, I try to make sure the butter stays kind of in the middle. You can see it's starting to get toasty brown. This particular skillet, it kind of has a hot spot in the middle, so you have to kind of move your food around, make sure it gets cooked evenly. old skillet. And we're gonna push it down and make sure it gets nice and toasty. And you wanna make sure that you check that the cheese is nice and melted. So you can see if I pull this up, see how melted the cheese is? Because that's a nice melting cheese. And if you need to put a little more butter in there, go for it. And at this point, I would probably just put the butter kind of in the bottom of the pan, let it kind of sizzle around and spread it around. So you know how hot it is? And let the cheese melt. Let it get on the sandwiches so they're nice and melty. See, now that one's just perfect there. That one's perfect. Starting to get there. And you have your plate ready. So this is just the basic American cheese sandwich, okay? I would classify it as grilled cheese, but it's another way to use cheese is I'm gonna use my flour tortilla shells, and I am going to put a couple of these in here. The skillet's kind of hot. You can start out with 2. And now I am going to take my sharp cheddar cheese. This has been shredded. I bought it this way. It's probably better to shred your own cheese, but this is nice, and I like it because it's shredded kind of big. And you're going to put your cheddar cheese in the middle. Probably put a little bit too much cheese. And I am going to just fold this over. Now the purpose of this is I'm going to fold it over. I got too much cheese in there, but that's me. I love my cheese. You fold it over, and you just want to cook this with a little bit of butter or a little bit of oil until the cheese melts. My audience is coming back. Now, when I do the tortilla shells like this, or the quesadillas, you're gonna have to turn the heat down a little bit so the cheese melts. And I usually serve them with sour cream. With sour cream, remember sour cream is a one of the dairy products, and it is cream that had lactic acid added to it to give it that sour taste. It's a very good condiment for the quesadillas, and I also serve it with salsa. The only thing you have to watch for is to make sure your cheese gets nice and melted. And you want to turn it down just a little bit so that your quesadilla, the tortilla shell doesn't get burned. And you could add chicken to this and other things to it, but the main focus this time was the cheese. And again, cheddar cheese has a great melting quality. It doesn't melt as smooth as, say, processed or Velveeta, but it does melt pretty well. Okay, and I'll show you a picture of it when I have it plated. Here I'm finishing up my quesadillas. I told you I was going to show you one that was plated. Basically, a cheese sandwich. I mean, it's nothing fancier about it. It's just done with a tortilla shell. And what I do when I serve it, is I'm going to take and put a couple spoonfuls of sauce on it. Because anything with salsa and cheese is good. And in the middle of that, I will put a dollop of, well, this is not Daisy, but a dollop of Daisy, sour cream. And put it right there. And that would be, and then if I had some like cilantro to kind of sprinkle on top of that, that would make it very nice. And that would be how I would serve my quesadilla. I'd probably have 2 or cut them in half. I hope you enjoyed that short, easy video, and you enjoy cheese and grilled cheese sandwiches as much as I do.